Hey guys, I'm Sankalpata and you're watching Book Geeks India, which is a channel where I make book related videos. In this video, I talk to you about Jay Shetty's latest book, Think Like a Monk. I tell you whether you should pick it up or not, give it a go or just let it go. Our identity is like a mirror covered with a dust. You have no idea of who you are and what you want to be, what you seek and what you value. And this is because of the dust that obscures the vision. Now, cleaning that mirror is not going to be a pleasant activity, but only when you remove the dust, only then you can find your true reflection. Now, I wish these were my own words of wisdom, but no, they come from Jay Shetty and I just admire how beautiful they are. Like I told you, in this video I bring to you the book review of Jay Shetty's book, Think Like a Monk. Now we all know about Jay Shetty. He's a podcast host, he's a YouTuber, he's a motivational speaker and author, and he has a huge following on all social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, and he's also a very famous guy who has made it to the Forbes 30 under 30 list. And now because I have a lot to talk to you about Jay's book, let's get on with the video. The book is written in a very simple language, so much so that a beginner level reader can easily read it. Expect a book that will take you days if not weeks to read, and that might take you even longer, like months, to implement all the tips, suggestions, practices and learnings that are made available to you in the book. Also expect a book that will help you grow personally and also spiritually. Also expect a book that trains you to have a monk mindset as opposed to a monkey mindset. Now what are these two mindsets? What is a monk mindset? What is a monkey mindset? These are the qualities of a monk mind. The monk mind focuses on a single task. It looks for meaning and genuine solutions. It controls and engages energy wisely. It is enthusiastic, determined, patient. It seeks long-term gains and is compassionate, caring, and collaborative. A monkey mind is one that overthinks and also procrastinates. Monkey mind is distracted by small things. It seeks short-term gratifications and is demanding and also feels entitled. Monkey mind is also self-centered and obsessed with multitasking, and it is also controlled by fear, anger, and worry. Let me tell you right away, the book does not promise you overnight miracles. But what it does promise is enable you to live a more peaceful and more purposeful life, one that is brimming with positivity and full of gratitude. Now, Jay Shetty has divided the book into three sections: let it go, grow, and give. He talks about letting go of identity, letting go of what people think of you and not letting it bother you. He also tells you to let go of negativity of fear, of emotions, of grudges, anger, fury, frustration, letting go of all that. Number 3 is that he asks you to let go of fear of loss, fear of failure, and fear of frustration. Number 4, he finally tells you to let go of intention. When you're doing something, you have to realize why you're doing it. He tells you have to let go of intention in the sense that when you think of successes and achievements, don't let those external factors drive your internal happiness. What he says is that if you let external things determine your happiness, then you are putting your happiness in somebody else's hands and you should not do it. The second section is grow. Grow your mind, grow your ego, grow your purpose, and also grow your routine. Now Jay tells you to find your own purpose. He asks you to find that niche where your usefulness, your passion, and also your expertise, they all overlap. The next thing he asks you to do is grow your routine. What he says is that location has energy and time has memory. If you continue to do the same thing day on day, every day, at a particular place and at a particular time, you will definitely find it easier and more natural to do that. So grow your routine. In the next part, he tells you to grow your mind. Let your mind not be driven by senses, not be driven by external pleasures. He tells you to make your mind your biggest friend and not your biggest enemy. Similarly, the last section talks about giving. It is titled Give. And what does he mean by this? Give in terms of gratitude, give in terms of relationships, give in terms of service. Now, throughout the book, Jay has given a huge importance to meditation. And this also he has divided in 3 parts. So like we have parts like let it go, grow, and give. Similarly, the focus on meditation is also in 3 layers. The first one focuses on deep breathing. The second one focuses on visualization, while the third one goes a little more deeper and talks about chanting. Now, at the end of the book, where we come to the chanting part, he has also given us three mantras, three beautiful mantras to meditate on, to chant on. And these are Om Tat Sat, Loka Samasta Sukhina Bhavantu, and Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now, you would think that Jay is asking you to go on a different tangent, on a very spiritual tangent away from your daily life. But that's not true. What Jay tells you is something which is backed by scientific data, which is backed by scientific study. He tells you all the effects, all the benefits of meditation and doing these in a step by step way. And he gives you a lot of examples, a lot of reasons to do so. Now, one major thing that I loved about Jay's book is that it tells you a lot of new concepts and new perspectives and new things to learn. For example, like I told you about the monkey mind versus the monk mind, he trains you how to get away from the monkey mind and come towards or lean towards the monk mind. Obviously, he doesn't tell you it'll happen overnight, it'll happen in a fortnight. He tells you need practice, and he gives you practical tips and suggestions, also exercises at the end of each chapter that will enable you to implement these learnings in a staggered manner, in a practical manner, and also in a more permanent sort of manner. Similarly, he also talks to you about a lot of new concepts. For example, mudita. Now, mudita in Jay's own terms is the principle of taking sympathies or unselfish joy in the good fortune of others. Some other concepts that were new to me were cancers of the mind and quadrants of potential, wherein your skill and passions interact. In quadrants of potential, you have four quadrants where skill and passions interact. So one quadrant has no skill and no passion, one quadrant has skill and passion, one quadrant has no skill but passion, and another one has passion but no skill. And you have to figure out where you are, which quadrant you lie in, and always strive to move towards the quadrant which has both skill and passion. Now, another two wonderful concepts that I came across in the book was circle of love and double-edged ego. Now, this is something I think I should not go in detail of because otherwise it will be a really lengthy video. Now, another thing that I loved about Jay's book is that it tells you to unlearn things that you have traditionally learned. It tells you to just let go of those things and train your mind to think on other ways. Now, Jay tells you certain things which are actually quite contrary to the popular wisdom and popular beliefs. For example, multitasking. Jay tells you not to multitask. People always tell you to learn multitasking. They always tell you that multitasking is perhaps for the best, but not Jay Shetty. What he tells you is that multitasking is for the monkey mind, whereas single task focus is for the monk mind. Basically, I was pretty convinced by what he had to say, and now I think I will definitely stop multitasking and go at a task with a single focus. Now, what I like about this book is that the book reads like a conversation. From the very beginning, the author is able to establish a connection with you. It feels like you're talking to the author because he has filled the book with examples from his own life, personal anecdotes, and a lot of other things that makes the reader very comfortable with reading the book. Further, like most non-fiction books that are self-help and have a spiritual inclination, this book is not at all preachy, and that is something that I love the most about it. It changes your perspective, it changes the way you look at things, but it convinces you by giving you examples, by giving you scientific evidences, by giving you a lot of logic. From what I've seen and what I've read, Jay has done a huge amount of research that has gone into the making of this book, and that's quite visible from the notes which are given at the end of the book. And these notes are like 18 pages in length, guys. Full length pages and 18 of them. That's huge, right? That's seriously huge. Another thing that I have to say here is that Jay takes the best of Hindu philosophy, ancient Buddhist philosophy, the best of Islamic and Christian thoughts, and also thoughts and practices and examples of native religions, indigenous religions like Native American religion, and a lot more. And he brings to us a mix of all these in a potpourri, which is beautiful. The best part of the book, like I've already told you, are the incidents, the anecdotes, the examples that Jay tells you from his own life. So at the very beginning of the book, he tells you about his experience of going at the age of 18 to see a monk talk. So he tells us about this incident. He had a friend in college who asks him to accompany him to a lecture, a session that a monk is delivering. Now Jay thinks, why would I go and listen to a monk? After all, what would he have to offer me? But nevertheless, he is somehow convinced and he goes out. And what he has to say about this is that this was love at first sight. When he heard that monks speak about so passion about the things he do, about the concept of service, about planting trees in whose shade we never ever intend to sit, he fell in love at the first sight and that changed his life. Jay was so impressed that he decided to meet the monk personally and he asked him how could he spend more time with him. And later, every year during the time of holidays, Jay used to fly down to India, come to Mumbai and spend time in this ashram. Much later, he shifted to a remote ashram in a very remote corner of India, and that is how he started becoming a monk. He spent a lot of time in the ashram. Finally, when he managed to graduate and complete his degree, he worked for some time, but then he found his true calling. He decided to give it all up, and trust me, he tells you it was not an easy task. They were parents, they were relatives, friends, colleagues, a lot of people putting all kinds of pressure on him. And this struggle, this journey, the examples of various things that happened in his life, and the examples from his own life that he gives you in addition to the concepts that he explains. This is the best part of the book. This is a truly amazing part of this book. I'm going to take a quote from Jay's book and tell you. My whole life, I've been fascinated by people who had gone from nothing to something, rags to riches stories. Now, for the first time, I was in the presence of someone who deliberately done the opposite. Now, in addition to that, he also tells you a lot of examples from other people's life. Some famous people, some not so famous people, but what he does is he talks to you about a concept. For example, in this case, he talks about dharma. Now, what he tells you is to find your dharma. And what is your dharma? Dharma is the place where your expertise, your passion, your skill, compassion, talent, and service, all of these things overlap. Now, while explaining dharma, he talks to us about this British woman who went to Indonesia and she experienced a horrific incident which changed her life completely, and she was convinced that she has to become a nun. She goes to Bhutan, becomes a nun, but she realized that that's not her truth calling, her true dharma. Now, this woman had a competence in finance. She was very skillful in finance. And what she did, she established a UK-based charity and deployed her financial acumen to actually help out people living in the rural areas of eastern Bhutan. This is where her expertise, her skill, her passion, her talent, and her service, all of them together overlapped. Well, I have to say this, yes, it was definitely interesting to me. I do not read a lot of self-help books, and self-help especially in the spiritual and personal growth section. This is a book that I read after a long time and I found it really helpful. So yes, to answer your question, this book is interesting, engaging, and also enriching. Must read recommendation for every kind of reader, especially if you are somebody who doesn't read a lot of self-help. This is a book you should definitely be reading. Also, definitely read this book if any of these things are ailing you. Anxiety, work stress, deteriorating quality of relationships, media clutter, device overdose, inadequate sleep, lack of purpose, and disappointment in life. I would tell you only 3 reasons to skip this book. Number 1, if you are into a habit of reading a lot of self-help book. Number 2, if you are looking for a self-help that is more in the professional growth genre and not spiritual or personal genre. And number 3, if you're looking for a short read, this book is kind of intense, kind of detailed, kind of in-depth. It's close to 300 pages, so it is very detailed and very deep. If you're looking for something lighter and shorter, by all means skip this book. And that's it from me in this video, guys. This was a book review of Jay Shetty's Think Like a Monk, a book that I thoroughly enjoyed and I would certainly recommend to readers of all types. It doesn't matter in what profession you are, it doesn't matter if you're in college or you are a graduate or you are a beginner level reader or a voracious reader. It doesn't matter if you are a housewife or somebody who's in office in corporate life. Just read this book if you haven't read a self-help in a long time. I'm sure you would have many things to learn from it. Finally guys, if you enjoyed this video and found it useful, do not forget to hit like and also subscribe, and also comment down below about any recent reads that you have read, any self-help that you would recommend to me or to the readers. And also if you're looking forward to reading this book, tell me all about it in the comments below, and I will see you with another video super soon. Until then, bye.